Go. What's going on, St. Louis? You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah, AM. What's going on out there, Lou? Huh? Well, we got my main man, Anthony Shaheed, here in the studio with us this morning. What's up, dog?
Good morning, man. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm always excited when I'm beside you because, you know, you're always on special assignment, but this time your assignment is here.
That's right. And we got who else? My main man, Charles Muhammad.
But why?
Come on now.
Why you got to come hard? You ain't got to talk to me like that,
I'm
man.
just saying, you introduce my brother.
Okay, well, can I first say something?
Please do.
His phone is back and forth. So, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my brother.
Yes,
Brother
sir,
Charles Abdul Wali, I think Abdul comes first, right?
Yes, sir. The servant always comes first.
Okay, servant. Well, you just came and moved my position out because Mary Bosley was excited about you being here to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I'm allowed to be in the presence of such great men, such men I consider mentors and people I hope to be just like one day.
Well, I'm thankful because it's Black History Month and Black History 365 days. But the
That's
mere
what's
fact
up.
you here, we honoring you today.
My Lord.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to tell you. Well, let's just go and get right to it. First, the big news.
Oh, that's big.
This is the big news, the biggest news here. Brother Lamar Johnson.
That's big.
Come on now.
That's big.
Brother Lamar Johnson
Free man.
just got released
That's right.
from serving almost 28 years in prison for a crime that he did not commit.
Yes, sir.
Judge David Mason issued the order.
That's big.
And Mason said that the information that was used, or the evidence that was used to convict Mr. Johnson, was suspect at best.
Ain't that something?
Suspect at best.
How do you lose?
And this brother went to jail, was in jail for over 28 years.
You know what that reminds me? That's the time that Nelson Mandela was in jail. 28 years. That's a long damn time to be in jail, bro.
A day, a minute,
Yes.
an hour
Well, you
is more time than needed if you're not guilty.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
All right. They got no arguments with me. Well, you know,
But this brother was in for 28 years.
well, that's because Sister Kim Gardner, from my understanding, in 2019 started pushing this here.
She argued the case.
Yes, she did.
Ain't that something?
Kim Gardner, let's give it.
Come on, that's right.
Kim Gardner
Come on.
argued the case
Come on.
before Judge Mason. And, you know, they're always on Kim Gardner, always talking about
Still
she
is.
not this and not that.
Right.
But she argued this case for this brother's freedom.
Anybody fighting
Yeah.
for black folks, that's how they come at it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anybody.
She fought the good fight.
I mean,
and she won. And she won.
that's a beautiful thing, bro.
Look at it.
You know, just the mere fact, and Mary Bosley got one of the papers from earlier this week.
And I hate to buy the Post. I do not buy the Post-Dispatch, but I bought this.
But that was
This
important.
was worth my $3.
Yes, sir.
To have this picture of this brother being free.
And let's think about how many more brothers. I know we're on that. We're gonna stay on that. But think about how many other brothers is in there for the same crimes that because they didn't have a Kim Gardner.
But that raises the issue. How many others
How they executed.
were incarcerated?
Yes.
How many others, like you said,
Yes,
were,
sir.
were executed? How many others are still in prison?
Yes, sir.
And it just took, well, not just that. It was several things involved. I think the people that actually did the crime finally confessed.
They did.
And that was one of the reasons that was so helpful. You know, but you just have to keep fighting. But 28 years?
That's a long
I mean,
time, man.
think about your hope. Think about your faith. Think about all of the things that you're trying to believe in, the things that hold you up. For 28 years, you held on?
And, you know, Mr. Mayor and Brother Shaheed, you know, Real STL News was inside the courtroom.
Okay.
We have the entire verdict that was read. We have his entire speech that he gave as soon as he left the courtroom as well. You know, he wasn't vindictive, wasn't mad. He just smiled and thanked everybody that helped him along his journey.
For the fight.
Yes.
For the fight. My grandfather used to tell me, what is it? My grandfather used to tell me that truth crushed to the earth shall
sir.
rise again.
Yes, sir.
Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne, standeth God within the shadows, keeping watch among his own. That's right. This brother is free. He is a free man. A free man. And ladies and gentlemen, it goes to show 28 years of fighting, 28 years of protesting, 28 years of claiming I'm innocent.
And
Probably, go ahead.
Mr. Mary, you're not going to believe this when I tell you. You're not going to believe this when I tell you. That man is not going to get compensated.
Damn.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
They made a story earlier this week, said that he will not be compensated.
Well, I thought it was a law that said that you could be compensated.
No, sir. He won't be compensated.
Do you have any particulars on that?
I didn't go too far in the story, but I did read they said he won't be compensated.
Maybe next
Well, we
week I
need to
want you
see the reasons why.
We want you to come back and do a piece on that because that's I don't understand that at all. I mean, I'm slow, but I ain't that damn slow.
You think you might better get him to come on?
We could reach out.
Yeah, you reach out to him. Yeah, I'd like to have him on.
We could probably see if we could reach out to somebody in Kim Gardner's.
Yeah, or even have someone on the telephone
Yes,
to
sir.
see if we might be able to do something with that.
Yes, sir. Wow.
That would be a beautiful thing.
I can't believe what you're saying. You're saying they done come up with some kind of loophole, some kind of law that says that all the time this man been in jail that he didn't supposed to be in there.
Yes,
They
sir.
done came up with something to say he ain't got a dime coming.
Yep. You turn your phone off.
Wow,
I can
that's
research
deep.
it real quick.
That's deep.
Yeah, that is.
Matter of fact, that's one of the highest disrespect you can get because here, first of all, if they gave him $20 billion, it wouldn't replace the time that he was in jail. That wouldn't even do it. Look at the time you missed being with your possibly had a son, a daughter, a grandchild, or a wife or whatnot. I don't know his whole history, but in 28 years, you could have did a lot of things, man.
Man, I'm trying.
You know?
You 28 years?
And if it wasn't for Brother Greg, I believe it's Elkins and James Howard coming along saying, hey, this man didn't have nothing to do with this, right?
Oh, those were the guys that were involved?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
If they hadn't came up and said that, but my understanding, the Supreme Court, they said that Sister Kim Gardner didn't have the authority to even do nothing dealing with the sentencing during that time.
Well, they've been arguing that. Okay, there's no compensation for Lamar Johnson. Why is that?
This is crazy.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more to find out. But I thought it was a law or something in the state of Missouri that said that people that were wrongly incarcerated were entitled to. It was a small amount of money, but there was something available to them in terms of compensation. Look at him; he's holding his head down.
Well, I'm quite sure.
Hold
And
his
then,
head
one
down.
first thing they won't do is tell you, make sure you tell people that you're not angry, you're not mad. What the hell? They better be glad they don't put no mic in front of my mouth.
Well, he's doing that one for the sake of picking up as much support, as he possibly can. Now that it's over, of course, he's probably got all kind of feelings of animosity and bitterness towards some of the folks, but he's holding his head up. Yeah. He's gonna hold his head up high. He's gonna stand tall, and he's gonna hopefully write a book about this, and go on speaking engagements.
Yes, sir.
I think he should go on speaking engagement. Now that's how he could get paid.
Yes,
to charge people
Can
to
I read?
speak.
Can I read
Go
this
ahead.
if I could?
Go ahead.
You
Got 1 minute. Maybe we've got 30 seconds to read
All
on
right.
out.
In Missouri, that ability is just non-existent. So Missouri does not provide compensation for individuals who are wrongfully convicted unless they're exonerated through a very specific procedure in which that person is requesting DNA testing, and that DNA testing leads to evidence that proves their innocence.
Okay, so that is something that's still left undone. Perhaps maybe he can ask for some exoneration. You know what I'm saying? Maybe now that we've got this piece out the way, maybe we can go down the exoneration road and see if there is an opportunity. It just, it doesn't totally rule it out.
Be that cut and dry.
It just seemed like it's just another hoop that he has to jump through. All right, it's time for a break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show.
you to build it up.
On
You seem like you ain't
KTZ
hitting it hot,
1600.
man.
Hallelujah
Hitting it
AM. Well, you come on then.
but I can't
Keep
hit
it
it
on
while
lock.
you hit it.
Keep it on lock. Quit playing. You got
Just
4
playing.
seconds.
I want-
Get it in.
keep it on.
Get it in. Morning, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah, AM. Boy, I'm so glad that Brother Johnson got that relief. I am so glad and I'm very happy for him. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more probably next week when we can get a little more information. We'd like to see if we could get him or somebody from the circuit attorney's office or one of his members of his legal team to kind of give us some testimony in terms of exactly what happened and what they think some of the high points of that trial were and some of the things that they think were most convincing to Judge Mason. What was it that you think actually took it over the top for Brother Johnson? What were the most hard-hitting pieces of evidence that you could come up with? So now that we got that out of the way, we want to talk about, got Brother Teron Rome here with us this morning, and he's got a Black History Month program that he's been working on. And, of course, Black history is something that is extremely important to us. But as Brother Shaheed say, every day is Black History Day. But, Brother Teron, welcome.
Can I jump in before he says something to Mayor Bosley, please? What I love about it is they trying to take Black history from us, period, every day in the school systems and everything. And I think Florida, Texas, and I believe it's also state of Missouri. What I'm thankful for today, not only is he here, and first of all, good morning, both of y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What I'm really happy about is he got a young person here, sister, I believe Sister Kayla Ward. I want to make sure I'm saying her name right because I want her to get close to that mic for me. I know she can talk because she's a 16-year-old. And Mary, I'm going to tell you what caught me off guard. He started talking about something. He said one of the main things he loved dealing with is chess. And it was three things. Was it chess? Black history, and what else was it?
Money and credit.
And money and credit. But she said, you know why she liked chess? Tell me why you say you like this, sister. Good morning, Sister Kayla Ward. Tell me why you say you like chess. Now, this blew my 16-year-old man. Tell me why you like chess.
Hi, yes, thank you for having me. I enjoy chess because one of the first things my instructor told me was that to think of chess like life, you know, because in chess, you always want to be 10 steps ahead in the game, just as you would like to be 10 steps ahead in life, you know, because you never want to fall behind in life. You never want to be just content with it either. You always want to try to get ahead and try to stay ahead and push yourself to be the best person you can be.
So you think you can play some chess?
That's what I told him, man.
I know
Are
a
you
little
any
something.
good? I mean, a lot of people can play and fiddle around with it, but can you actually play?
I know a little something, you know. It's
little
all a
something.
process.
I want you real close to that mic.
It's all a process, you know. I know something, you know.
A little
It's
something.
always building up. So
Yep.
you always start with the pawns and you move up stage by
Yeah.
stage, you know.
Right. It's a middle. No, it's an opening,
Right.
a middle, and an end game.
Okay.
It's 3 steps. The opening, the middle,
And the end.
and the end game.
Yes.
The opening is where you, like you say, you bringing out the pawns. You setting it up for the battle.
Right.
All right. The middle is where you actually engaging pawns and knights, bishops.
Right.
Yes. And the end game is where you going hard in the paint.
Yes.
We going hard in the paint. So you do that?
Yeah.
All right.
well,
Okay now.
She sounded so convincing. That's why I asked her to mention it again. So that tells me something about what you're doing, brother Rome.
Yeah, well, the fact that she's playing at all
Means something.
means something. Yes, it
Okay.
does.
Well, that's really important.
Speak
man.
right into that mic for me, good and loud.
That's really important, you know, because Legacy Institute, we must build our own legacies, man. I saw in so many different ways that if we wait to build a legacy on someone else to help us create it, it might not happen. So the best way to
Might
look
not.
at it is look at the history and for us what we do at Legacy. We teach a couple of different classes, such as Black History is always #1 course that we make sure our youth get part of. Chess is #2, important. Money and credit is 3. Then we teach leadership, and as well as we teach financial literacy with the entrepreneurship and debate team component with it as well.
Yeah, tell us about money and credit.
Well,
A
money.
lot of us ain't got no money, and we sure in the hell ain't got no credit.
Well, the thing about that is, I just found out when I came out of high school and I got into college, I still didn't know credit myself. And then I kept wondering, well, what happened to this course that I never got? And so I said, instead of just talking about it, let's teach it ourselves and make sure that we don't continue to see bad credit first. Let's start letting our youth know how good credit works. And if you start off with good credit, you got a better chance of keeping it.
No, let's talk about credit. What is that? What actually is it?
Credit is, I said that's like a gateway to freedom.
Okay, come
A
on.
gateway to freedom gives you the opportunity to push a button and get it done without having to work so hard. In life, we don't want to work hard, we want to work smart. When your credit's better, you get better interest rates, you get better opportunities, you get people to look at you better when you walk in the office to try to get a job. Everything is based on credit. And one thing they try to tell us is it don't matter. You come back to history. Credit is like history. It ain't nowhere you can go in life and not they have to check your credit. You know, whether it be or check your history. It's the same thing. When you go to the doctor's office, they got to check your history. They got to check your credit. They want to check and see how you're doing there. When you go any other place, they want to check your credit and your history. That's all a part of life. Nothing goes without credit and history.
Yeah, and what about the money piece?
The money is so important.
Money's power.
Right. We teach them how to work money, how to earn money, and how to save money.
Right.
See, a lot of people, somebody could win the lottery tomorrow, and then they be
And
broke
they
in a
broke.
year.
Yeah.
Because they
Or
never,
two.
they never knew how to manage money. Money
Right.
is not something, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes they say, let's just get people jobs. You don't want to just get people jobs. You want to get them opportunities to know how to keep a job and how to maintain a good, successful life. That's why this young lady I brought with me, she knows so much about that, and I'm so impressed with her. She knows so much
About money?
About money,
Yeah,
credit, all
man,
of
you
that.
putting her out with. Let me hear you talk about it, young lady.
How old are you?
I'm 16 years
Oh,
old.
That's what I'm talking about.
16.
She sound impressive.
Where are you
though,
going to school at, man?
I go to Whitfield School, and I'm a sophomore in high school.
16 years old.
That's what it says.
I'm telling you, it's a blessing.
You said 10th. You're in the 10th.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of grades?
I have A's and B's. Right now, I have a 3.5. I'm sorry,
3.5.
3.78 GPA.
Oh, that's beautiful.
GPA.
That's beautiful.
All right. What are your plans?
I plan to go into communications and public relations.
Oh,
in
well, you in the
college.
right place right now.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Communications, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, tell me what you know about money,
Right. Okay. So.
other than that you know how to spend it.
Her
Women,
mother
that's
came
one.
with her this morning, man.
Okay,
I
her
bet
mama with her?
Her mother came. I
Oh,
bet you.
okay.
I bet you. She spent a lot of her
Mama.
mama. Tell me how you manage your mama's money.
Mama, I want this, I want that.
Well, actually, before joining Legacy Institute, that's exactly what I did. Spent money, didn't know anything about saving money, managing it, none of that. But then once I joined the course, I learned about credit, and I learned about like retirement funds and 401ks and just how to keep money like a savings and spendings and all sorts of different things to maintain your money.
Did
and
that help you
organize
with your relationship with your mama in terms of, young people, y'all just want, gimme. And parents, we steady. Shelling it out
we
to you.
pay boys now.
Yeah, but without any real consequence. So what, now that you've been in the Legacy Institute, do you lean on mama as much, or do you start trying to figure out ways how you can help her? What's going on now?
Well, being at Legacy Institute really helped me mature, and it helped me learn how to navigate the real world a little bit better. So now,
Navigate.
The real world. I like how she talks.
Yeah, navigate.
thank you. So right now, I've been looking for jobs myself just to kind of experience and kind of like dip my feet in the water, just to see what it's like to kind of be on your own a little bit.
Right, yeah, well,
Yes.
that's okay.
And see, that's very important. See, that's why we want to see. Now, and again, I want to say one thing that means so much to us is this young lady knows more than a lot of our parents know.
Yeah.
Because the whole
Yep.
thing is, and it's not always the fault of our parents, it's just the fact that we
Ignorance.
didn't get this knowledge to give to them properly,
Exposed. Right.
and then you continue to live as though it's okay.
Yes.
But the whole thing is we must stop that and make sure that we are literate to know what's going on. Think about it like this. I got a survey that said 10% of students in school now only know that Civil War has something to do with the slavery. They don't even know that. That means how far we got lost on what history means. Think about all the people that did revolt, such as Frederick Douglass, such as Nat Turner. All of them
Harriet
learned how to
Tubman.
read. Harriet Tubman. All of them learned how to read. See, as long as we didn't know how to read, we didn't know how to really think further out and how to make something happen. Once we learn how to read, they learn how to think and learn how to navigate. Like you said, it's important that we learn how to be literate. If you don't know how to be literate, how can you move forward?
Yeah. Well, it's like sometimes I've had testimony from people that have been in jail. One of my favorite folks is Kenny Boy.
Yep.
And Kenny Boy's story is so touching. I mean, he was at Galloway's place on Broadway. Guy stepped on his shoes. him and his fellas went back out into the car. They sat there. They waited till the place closed. They watched this guy come out the club with his girlfriend. They followed him till he dropped his girl off, and they followed him home. And then Kenny Boy got out the car, ran up on the porch, and shot him about 3-4 times. All cause he stepped on his shoe.
Crazy.
But that's the other story. That's one part of the story. But the police caught him within 24 hours. He went to jail for 18 years. He said for over 16 years, he was in jail mad, blaming everybody for his problems. And I said, well, when did the light bulb come on? And he said, I realized that I was ignorant. And like you said, he started reading.
Yes.
And he started educating himself in jail. He didn't need to go to no college. He didn't need to go to a 4-year institution, but he started reading. He was turning into a sponge. You see what I'm saying? Sponging up information. So you don't have to go to a college and I talked about universities and things and the global mindedness a couple weeks ago, but you don't necessarily need all of that. What you can do is just immerse yourself into education and learn things. And that's what you're trying to teach people to educate themselves, because a lot of times we are ignorant.
Yes.
And it takes an awful lot for a man to admit that he is ignorant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And he said that once he got out of jail, first place he went was over to Skull and Steel. And he talked to the guy that was the manager over there, and he said, sir, I just got out of jail. He said, but if you give me a job, I'll be the best employee, one of the best employees that you ever had. And I know that guy had heard that story several times before, but he looked at Kenny Boy and he said, when can you start? Right. And he worked that job, and now Kenny Boy now produces movies,
Sure do.
produces CDs, what is he, a rapper? He does. I mean, he just has
Well-known and
blossomed
respect,
into all different types of things just because he realized that he was ignorant and he started educating himself.
That's the beautiful thing about what you're doing, my brother, because I'm looking down here where she said she wants to get to an HBCU. That's what she wants to major in, but the main thing is the communication and public relations. Somebody had to make you want to feel like that's what you need to do. Jump back and help us, Kayla.
Yeah.
Yes, I've always liked talking to people and working with people.
She's catching me off guard.
Yeah.
16.
And I just think that being able to connect with people on different levels and help get what they need across and get out into the community is so important. And I love helping people who, you know, may be scared to do it themselves or just need a little bit of push or just some support. I love to be that person.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just hope that you don't get out here and let one of these knuckleheads get in your head. You hear what I'm saying? You know where you want to go. You have a vision. You headed that way. These characters out here trying to pull you off over here, pull you off over there, trying to get you sidetracked. They don't have no plans, but they got plans for you.
Right.
So what you need to do, I hope, I'm sure that you're doing it anyway, but just stay focused, baby.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
let nobody get you off of your game, and don't nobody know more about what it is that you're trying to do or that you want to do other than yourself. And don't doubt yourself. Because, see, it's your friends and your family that'll start, oh, girl, you can't do that. We tried that. You can't do. Don't let nobody tell you there's nothing you can do that you can't do. And your boyfriend or your man that's be around you, he going to be one of the main ones trying to hold you back. So you got to watch out for him. Forward.
Yes, sir.
Onward.
Of course.
All right?
Of course.
Okay.
My brother, you trying to say something? Come on.
Oh, I just want to say that another thing I learned in working on this project for the past 2.5 years was, you know, these young men that's running around with the AR-15s, 17 years old. You know, if I'm next to one, I'm not scared of what he know. I'm scared of what he don't know.
Yeah.
Because he haven't been taught properly. That's
Right.
why he's doing what he's doing.
That's right.
I could walk around next to a guy in the tailor-made suit that might be a so-called leader in the community, but I'm scared of what he don't know because he don't know how to help his own because he's somewhat been brainwashed. So that's also just because you got a suit on don't mean you doing the right thing. Just because you got the L don't mean you doing the right thing either. It's like all about miseducation. And miseducation is what we've been left out of. And that's the key to us. We got to stop being miseducated and learn what the importance of education. And see, if we don't know the importance of it, how can we do something about it?
Right.
I said one thing I wanted to say. I heard that some of these principals allowing these kids to sag in school.
Ah.
I'm like, and then I asked them why are they doing that. He said because they need them for numbers. If their numbers ain't there, they ain't gonna suspend them. I said, well, that's bad leadership.
So they'd rather have the numbers than have the education.
Right. So we need to get rid of leaders like that that's not doing what they're supposed to do because all they're doing is hurting our kids more than helping them. And that's why we got statistics to show some of these things to show that what we're doing is not only giving them hope, we're trying to give them a new light. You know, because our kids start off, when our babies get here, we start off, well, other ethnic groups start off on third base. You know, you're at third base waiting to come home. Mm-hmm. When we get to bat, we got 2 outs, 2 strikes, no balls, and when one miss of a swing, we out of there. But the other people starting at third base, they ready one good fly ball, they home. So statistics show that what we're talking about means a lot. And that's why Kayla got some statistics just to show also the importance, because what we're doing is not just important, we got proof to show that it's important.
Let me ask you a question, because February the 25th, which is next week, from my understanding, you're going to be doing something. Tell me what it is, some type of 8-week program. Jump in and help me, because I want to take the last 2 or 3 minutes so you can push out your information.
Okay.
Well, 2 minutes.
We got, oh, Lord, I got to move fast. Okay, 8-week program. Well, 8-week program starting February the 25th, and it goes into April the 22nd. We're taking the youth from ages 5 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, 14 to 18, 19 to 24, as well as parents. Please don't forget parents. We're coming out to teach you all Black history, chess. We're also going to teach you financial empowerment. We're also going to teach you leadership. We're also going to teach you debate so you can learn how to debate and how to articulate what you want out of life. We saw that we last financially, and I saw that the number one ethnic groups are focusing on these items. And the number one thing that the number one ethnic groups focus on the most is their history. So think about it. They're taking books out of schools, but yet not letting us get our own history, but yet the people that's doing it the best, they focus on their history first. But and then I'll let Kayla get some in here because she knows a lot about what I'm talking about as well.
And get information out. That's the main thing I need in this last 2
And the phone number is 314-337-1230. You want to sign your children up. We need your volunteers. We need your participation. We need your help. We need you all to come together. See, the hardest part about our community is we don't want to come together sometimes, but yet we only strong together. But we can go a lot farther together than we can alone. And that's why I want to make sure our program starts at 310 North 15th Street at Confluence Academy Preparatory High School. It's an 8-week program. We got free breakfast, free lunch, free snacks. It's from 9 to 2. They get these courses, and then after they graduate, they stay with us to continue to move forward. But we gotta start doing it ourselves. And some of the parents kind of got me nervous because sometimes I call them, they be like, I shouldn't have to force you to give your kids this information. The Beyonce ticket's $500, and they'll jump on them. They'll jump on them, but $100 to help their own for the future of your kids. It's like you got to almost pull teeth sometimes. I'm like, wow.
So give me that. It's LegacyInstitute. Give me that, please.
The website is LegacyInstituteSTL.org. LegacyInstituteSTL.org. We have a YouTube channel, Legacy Institute STL. That's our channels that you can go on. You can see all the beautiful work we've been doing and see some of the youth showing what they have learned. We're not just talking about it. We're getting it done, and we got the receipts to show.
Kayla, give me that telephone number again.
51 seconds.
Give me that telephone number again. Is that 314-337-1230? Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's from February the 25th through April the
22nd.
April the 22nd.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm right. And the last thing, I just want to hear your voice. What's your mother's name? Because she's sitting in the studio listening.
Give a shout out to your mom.
Yes, shout out to my mom. She's the best. Her name is Keela Ward. Mom, I love you so much. Thank you so much.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Keela Ward, thank you so much. I love you for everything that you've done for me to bring me here.
I bet she blushing now.
And Dad.
All right, then.
And can I say one more thing about
You know,
Our time is gone.
Your time is up. All right. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah. AM.
We're keeping on lock.
Quick. Play. Oh. Welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah, AM. Boy, that was a nice little piece with that young lady, wasn't it?
That was a powerful piece.
Yes.
Sister Kayla Ward, we want to just give her a shout out. First of all, I want to give Brother Terrence Rome a shout out for bringing her and what he's doing. But the mere fact that he brought her, I think she covered herself. She sounds real credible. She's talking about 401ks and retirement fund. Most 16 years old, and he said it right, most of the grown people don't talk about that, Brother Charles.
right.
You know, at least I don't hear him talking about it. You know, they're talking about other things. And he's talking about debate teams. You know, he's talking about the main thing that she's talking about, chess and how she look at that as life. I never hear 16-year-olds. That's what really impressed me when she first started talking. And then she had a mother with her, and she wanted to sit right by her mama. And
Absolutely.
that was very important to me, Mary. So we want to give a shout-out to them again. And that telephone number that they said was, 314? Where did I put that number down there? 314-337-1230. Again, that number is 314-337-1230. Make sure you call Brother Rome and tell me you heard about what they talk about. They starting the program next Saturday, February the 25th, and it'll go to the 22nd of April. Okay? That's what I want to do. I want to get back on Lamar Johnson, but I don't know what you
Go
want to hit
ahead.
on
No,
first.
that's fine.
I just think that was awfully serious that a man was locked up those many years, and I know we're going to find out a little bit more as the days, as things start developing. But I always think about that. But I think about Sister Kim Gardner and how she's under attack, how she stays under attack, how they never, the attack is relentless. Ever since she had her rendezvous with Governor Greitens, and from that point on, it was like it was a kiss of death. And then I think about how strong she was, and this is Brother Shaheed asking this question: what the hell is wrong with Wesley Bell? He's always, this Brother Shaheed asking this question, because I just see him just somebody that I have literally no respect for. And this Brother Shaheed, I have none, absolutely none for him. The mere fact that I think about a brother that had a possible chance to be alive right now, since we're talking about someone who got out, that all he had to do the exact same thing with Raheem Teller. And the mere fact that he just stood back and played first base safe. And I know why he does it. He's out there in Clayton with them white folks and other folks is out there. And he got to make sure his ham bone is in place. And
His
he's got
what?
his ham bone.
Ham bone?
Yeah, ham bone was something that they used to do with the Negroes.
Yeah,
and
ham
white
bone,
folks.
ham bone. Have you
heard?
heard? Yeah.
Well, he the mockingbird.
Okay.
And he makes sure he coons. And I have to talk like that because the mere fact he never stood with Sister Kim, and then when those black prostitutes, when they came in from out of town, he was a no-show.
Yeah.
He was a no-show. Then he told a damn lie to myself and Mike Brown and Sister Cal at Goody Goodies and said he was going to open that case. And I told Brother Mike Brown right there in front of him, I said, I don't trust him. In front of his face, I said, I do not trust him. So he told that damn lie. And the mere fact he had a problem with me because they didn't even give his brother a chance when they was going to execute him to have a religious leader in there. And I was the religious leader that's supposed to be in there. And they said no show. All that was a problem for me, not just him. But once he knew that I was involved, he really had a problem with that. So, I really got a problem with this guy here. This man, ain't no sense me lying about it. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he never is nowhere and feel comfortable where I'm around, because I'm always talking about him publicly out loud. And this is Brother Anthony Shaheed speaking. I'm not speaking for 1600. I'm not speaking for Mary Bosley, Brother Charles. I'm not speaking for Kevin. I ain't speaking for nobody but Brother Anthony Shaheed. I have absolutely zero respect for this boy. I think that's pretty clear, ain't it?
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Brother Jones, on that note.
Speaking to that mic, Brother Charles, whatever you want to say.
On that note, you got to think about not only was he locked up for 28 years, think about the birthdays that he missed, the holidays that he missed.
Possible Ramadan. He might have heard about Ramadan and wanted to do Ramadan with us.
Right. Think of all that stuff that was missed,
Yeah,
and
right, bro.
you can't get back. Even though I know he's probably happy to be out,
You can't get
but that time you can't get back. And when you look at life, and when your life comes full circle, you're going to regret the time that you wasted because you cannot get it back.
get it back.
So you paid a, quote, debt to society, but what will you do after being incarcerated for that long? What can you do? He's not a young man.
Yeah, well, 28 years, that's really a lifetime.
That's a
It
lifetime.
is. That's
man.
a couple
that's a
generations.
life.
Well, it's the prime of
That's
your
at
life.
least 2 generations.
Well, not only that, but it's the prime of your life. I'm willing to bet you it's like now we got all this type of new, what you call social media. He's got to learn all that. Hell, I don't even know it.
Yes.
You got to learn how to use a phone. During that time, we had rotary phones, man.
And beepers.
We had beepers and stuff. And, you know, I mean, all those things there. Suppose he had a grandchild during that time. I don't know, but I'm saying, look at that grandchild now. If it was born when he first went to jail, he damn near 28 years old. It's going to take older. It's going to take him a whole another 28 years to try to really build a relationship, something that he had nothing to do. He didn't do anything about that. He didn't do anything to cause himself to be in that condition. That's I don't know. I got real problems with that. And then the mere fact that these people, you know, that's one thing about white folks. When they're in position of authority, they act like it. They don't play like they ain't in authority. Yeah. They say, I don't give a damn about none what y'all talking about. We find loopholes. We're going to figure where you done served that time. Be happy you out. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And the question becomes, and I've said it once, how many more are out there?
Yes. Yes.
How many more?
Yes.
There's a guy on Sirius XM. He has a segment every Wednesday called Exonerated. Wow. And what he does, he brings people on his show who were falsely accused and have been exonerated for crimes. His name is Clay Kane. He does it every Wednesday.
Clay King. I know Clay King.
Clay Kane.
Kane, C-A-N-E.
I think it may be K-E-N-R-C-N-E.
Okay.
But he does a show called Exonerated, like I say, every Wednesday. And he brings on these people who have been falsely accused and they've been let go. So there are other people like that, you know, in these stories that are told time and time and time and time again. But here's the most critical aspect of everything that you sum up. The people didn't even say they were sorry.
Yeah, that's deep. They think they did something.
Well, where do you get the sorry from? Who's supposed to say, I'm sorry? Who's coming forward to say, I'm sorry?
The judge, the prosecutor, if they're still alive, the jury, you know. It's like you prosecuted and you put in jail an innocent man. That doesn't mess with your mind.
But think about this. The jury put him in jail based on false information.
That's true.
You hear what I'm saying? It was false information that they were presented. The whole other side that he attempted to bring out in this case was not even allowed. He wasn't even allowed to bring those issues, you see. And so the jury went with what they had, and I would imagine that some of them, if they're still around, probably might have a hand up wanting to say something about that.
Well, you know, it's kind of like how they said we had due process back when they had the kangaroo courts. They brought a black man in the court. They act like they had a trial, and then you was guilty for when you went in there.
Yeah. Well, you know, we used to say about due process, that's whatever process is due.
What you say? Say that again, man.
Due process is whatever process is due. Yeah. Yeah. That's and that's basically what that is. But let's segue on into talking a little bit more about Lamar Johnson, because his case brought Kimberly Gardner just a little bit more into the forefront, and now the legislature, the House of Representatives, just passed a bill that could strip power from Kimberly Gardner and prevent her from exercising her elected rights to pursue these type of cases.
They never stop.
No, they never stop. That's why you have to be eternally vigilant.
Yes, sir.
You have to be eternally vigilant. The House Republican leaders, they passed the bill.
They did.
Now, it goes over to the Senate where Carla May and some of the others will probably be dealing with it, and it might not see the light of day, but it passed in the House of Representatives. And so during the debate, you had several black state representatives that would get up and try to take issue with the bill, point out some of the wrongs of the bill and try to move the issue forward away from this issue of the appointment of the special prosecutor, they shut him down.
Ain't that something?
They cut off his debate.
They don't even want to hear that.
Right. At least, look, you know you got the votes. Let the man say what he want to say, and if you're going to move the question, let him get it out. They did not do that.
Yeah,
and so the black elected officials, the black state legislators, and probably some of the black state senators, they had a press conference denouncing the fact that the House of Representatives, the House leadership, went forward and cut this state rep conversation out when he had the floor.
Mayor Bosley, I had the privilege of interviewing Representative Marlene Terry right after that vote when she came back up from Jeff City. She expressed how they cut them off on the floor. But here's the thing that people aren't seeing. Kimberly Gardner was duly, they like to use that word, duly elected.
Right.
So what
Not
they're
a
saying
point.
is that
That
your
don't mean
vote
nothing.
don't matter.
Right, that's what
we're
they
gonna
say.
take that from you.
Yeah.
Now, I said, Representative Terry, I said, well, if the governor gonna take that action, I said, who's to say that the House and the Senate won't put up a measure to say that the governor is unfit and we're gonna put a special person over the governor because we don't think that he's gonna be able to execute his office. She said, you know what, that could happen.
That's not going to happen because they're white.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen because they're white. And that's why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're white.
Yep.
And so the majority of the House of Representatives is white. And the governor is white. So they're moving in the direction that they want to go in. That legislation that they passed allows the governor to appoint a special prosecutor over the city of St. Louis to handle high crimes. The hell with the prosecutor that's elected by the residents of the city of St. Louis. The governor said, I'm going to bring my own man in.
And who is that person?
Whoever he appoints.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But who is that person?
Right.
You know, the Kimberly Gardner is a Democrat.
Yeah, but
Like you said, a duly elected official.
Right. She's a Democrat, and the governor is a Republican.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you what Allah tells us in the Quran. Relate to them the story of Governor Greiten. See, when white folks say, leave something alone, that's what they mean, leave something alone.
Yes, sir.
And when you act like you don't know what they're saying, then what they do, they come back and it's called retaliation.
Yes.
Now this is Brother Shaheed speaking again. I'm not speaking for nobody but Brother Shaheed and the Tawheed Youth Group and Brother Sultan Muhammad.
Yes,
That's
sir.
who I'm speaking for. Anytime somebody got a problem with what white folks say don't do, when they tell you to jump and don't ask me how high, when you get there, I'll inform you. And when you know how to buck dance and buck, Wesley Bell don't have these kind of problems. His name ain't coming up on this stuff repeatedly. But the mere fact that she said and he had to step down and he was indicted, that was a problem. And they said, no, wait a minute, hold up. We had people before you, we didn't have these problems. They was white and they understood the script. You act like you understand the damn script. That's why she having a problem. That's why she was having death threats. Not only was she having problems, let's talk straight.
Yes, sir.
They was talking about physically killing her, sending her death threat. Them white folks ain't even addressed that. That was different because they ain't got no problem with that. They don't mind having strange fruit hanging from the south. See? And that's what remind me of. Anytime you come up with what you think was right, like what they did with O.J. Simpson, the mere fact that they did what they did with him shows me the exact same thing. See? When they came and said O.J. Simpson was not guilty, they said, well, hold on, we need to change this whole thing. What y'all black folks come saying they ain't guilty? We say he was guilty. So that's where my problem come in. That Sister Kim Gardner has a problem on her hands for no reason other than she supports black folks, everybody, but she has a love for her people, and she sees that police doing it over the course of time, not just Greiten, was writing reports, and their reports weren't no good, and they found out they had a history of racism.
So you mean to tell me that D. Joyce Hayes didn't have these problems?
Oh, hell no. D. Joyce Hayden, and what's the other one name?
George Peach.
George Peach, and what the other woman name? It was two of them.
Jennifer Joyce.
Jennifer Joyce.
Yeah.
They don't have these kind of problems because they right there with the good boy system. And it's not that she had a problem with police. She got police around her now. But she got a problem with all of them she has, and the fraternal order police should have bad police.
Right.
They don't think that people like Jerry Lakeshaw, who, this brother Shaheed speaking again, who was a lieutenant colonel, damn near was the chief of police, was putting guns and dope on people. So she's saying he wasn't credible. And white folks said, what do you mean he ain't credible? He damn near the chief of police. It don't make no difference if he sold drugs and dope. She had a problem with the two police that was playing Russian roulette. See, the other ones, George Peach and them, all that could have been disappeared.
Oh, he's Larry Johnson, the biggest perpetrator and sex fiend of all.
Damn, man. Wait, hey, man, where you
Don't
going
put it
there?
out there.
Oh, you know he's hired them prostitutes out there at the Marriott, carrying on, using another name, an alias, Larry Johnson, and prosecuting the hell out of black people. I mean, prosecuting the hell out of black people by day, out in the county getting sex at night.
Damn. I'm trying to drop the mic. I don't think I better take this
Come
off.
on. Yeah, come on. All right. Now, hold on. Wait a minute.
That's why Kim Gardner in trouble. But go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We didn't enough about white people. We talked about them enough. We can't talk about them enough, but we've talked about them quite a bit during this segment.
Okay, go
Let's get on some black people.
You want to go to Memphis?
Let's go to Memphis.
That's not far away.
Uh-oh.
Let's go to Memphis.
You want to talk about some handkerchief heads now?
I don't necessarily think they was handkerchief heads.
Well,
They
yeah.
just was ignorant, and they were raw, and they was hard on our own folks.
Well, they figured they wouldn't get no trouble if they do it on their own. They knew not to do it to
Absolutely.
white folks. I know you said we
Absolutely.
ain't gonna talk about white folks.
That's
I
right.
gotta get this in one more time. They knew not to do it to some white folks and some so-called Jews.
Yeah, but here's something that is equally disturbing to me. These officers, one of them, took pictures of Tyree Nichols
That's deep.
after he was beaten. Police officer Haley, this is one named Haley. He took 2 photos. It was a black man. I'm saying, yeah, there ain't nobody white. This ain't no white. White people ain't on this one. Hello? Yeah, and you ain't saying nothing about it either. White people ain't on this one. And this boy took 2 photos of Tyree Nicholson after they beat him while he was in handcuffs.
What are you doing? It's a trophy or something? What was he? Damn.
That, and remember, when we talked about this last week, there are rumors. Now, there are rumors, right? There are rumors that one of these guys, of these 5 officers, was dating
The same girl.
the same girl that Tyree Nichols was dating, or that Tyree Nichols was dating his girlfriend, one of these guys. And so one of these guys, Officer Haley, now, comes forward, and he's taking photos. Now, who the hell is doing that?
Yeah.
He's taking photos. At least they got 2 pictures that he's already sent while Tyree Nichols was in handcuffs. And one of the people that he sent it to, she's not an employee of the Memphis Police Department. She's not an employee of the Memphis EMS Department. They call her an acquaintance.
Now, that's a suspect word. That what
Absolutely, an acquaintance.
What kind of acquaintance?
That's what we're trying to get down to. So you hear this stuff is gradually coming out. And I'm hoping that by next week, I'll have some more information to share on this. But by the fact that he sent this to a woman that they're calling an acquaintance of his, it gives rise,
Yeah.
it gives credence
Yeah.
to some of the talk that is being had about the fact that one of these police officers had a relationship with a woman that Tyree Nichols was fooling around with.
Man, once a woman don't want you no more, she can talk to whoever she want to. You can't
Well,
say.
she might want both of them.
Damn, man, come on, man.
Hello? Come on now. Quit playing.
Hey, brother
It
Charles.
ain't either or. She might want both of
Now,
them.
you know, historically, when they used to burn us at the stake, they used to take pictures and send them as postcards.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. They definitely did that. It reminded me what they used to do in, they didn't take the pictures, but what they did, I learned in Bonne Terre and Potosia, the governor had to tell me, I think as late as 1992, 1993, it didn't go to 1995, when y'all execute black people, quit burning crosses on the lawn. Y'all going too far. We done already adopted the highway. Don't go too far with this Highway K. These people something, bro. You know, they don't never stop. And that's why we love you, Sister Kim Gardner. Make sure y'all tell her, say they always gonna push you. They always gonna stand up with you. They always gonna, because you doing what's right. And whenever you stand up and do what's right, we have on this radio, you have a voice here, and just know that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about it now is that she is pointing out these discrepancies. She spoke out and stood up,
Yes.
handled this case for this brother.
That's beautiful.
Got him, he wasn't exonerated, but got him
He out of jail.
dismissed. Yeah, that's one step, and we're
Yes,
going
sir.
and we're
Yes,
going
sir.
further.
Yes, sir.
But Kim Gordon is fighting a good fight, and not only fighting a good fight, she's fighting the fight for you.
Yeah.
And she's winning.
And she's winning on several fronts,
So-
but you know there's still other fronts to go.
So where you gonna be at? It's one thing about what you. Oh yeah, we love her, but when it comes to them coming at her,
Are you gonna stand up?
yeah.
Oh no, they're gonna say, "Oh, ain't it a shame the way they coming at Kim Gardner? Ooh, ain't it a shame?"
This whole city
When they
should get
come at
closed
Kim
up.
Gardner,
They
they come at you.
That's right, because she's standing up for you.
When they come at Kim
right.
Gardner, they come at you.
right.
Now,
That's
you don't
right.
want to admit that, and you don't want to feel that, but that's the truth.
Don't
But
make
you
no
feel it when they get one of yours.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
you do.
Well,
Uh-huh.
the mere fact she's standing up, that's why they come at us.
Yeah, that's
Man,
right.
bad as I hate to say it, we ain't got
Gotta
number
go
5
to a
seconds
break.
left. A few seconds left.
Yes, that's right. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KETZ 1600. Hallelujah!
We keep it on
AM.
lock.
Keep it on lock.
Keep
Quick,
playing.
quit playing. Oh!
He likes this. Good morning.
Oh, we on? Oh, man, yeah. Well, welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah, AM.
Man, can I say something? You got
Yeah, go
lost
ahead.
for a minute because
Yeah, I
Harris
did.
Stoke. I'm going to put you
I'm
on
waiting
front.
on
foot.
him.
Yeah, you looked up at this intern, and he's so smooth. He got so much pizzazz. He got so much style. Look at him. He got so much confidence.
Right.
You act like you didn't know the
Well,
program.
no, what it was, then when I looked at him and I saw him, it reminded me, what about his segment?
Well, I'm asking, what about this segment? What is he going to do?
Well, what about it? Do you have, are you ready for one, or you want to do that next week? Okay, next week, okay. But anyway, let's get on into this. Now, we talked about this about 2-3 weeks ago, and it seems like it's getting a little movement. And that is this whole thing about reparations for black people in California. Now, they are eyeing $5 million payments for black people in California. All right. Now, what I'm trying, particularly in San Francisco and Palm Springs. Now, what I'm trying to do, though, is get my head around what is the $5 million based on? How did we arrive, at this number? We just can't continue to throw numbers out in the air. So, but I have to commend them, of course, on coming forward with the whole issue of reparations. Hey, look,
that's huge.
This is the first in the nation. The first task force in the nation talking about reparations. So we got to give it up for California for even making it that far.
Yeah.
So now let's drill down a little bit and figure out, and we'll probably I'll get more information on it and find out what is the $5 million based on. How did they arrive at that number? You see, because that's what white people are going to be asking the question about. Well, what is that based on? So hopefully I'll have a little bit more information on what that $5 million, these $5 million payments is based on. We know past discrimination, past issues with housing, past issues with jobs, past issues with just the total and banking. But how do we arrive at $5 million? What is that number based on? That's what I'd like to get my hands around.
Yeah, first thing I think they're gonna start talking about how they can't never come up with no money. When they do figure it out, they figure out, it was because of housing, it was because of discrimination, it was because of jobs, it was because of when they get to at some point, they're gonna say, we've been giving out trillions and trillions of dollars, we all trillion out.
I mean, they have money to just give to Ukraine. I mean, billions and billions of dollars.
Ain't no secret.
They just giving it away, and you tend to think about, not to bring up his name, but he made a good point. Trump was like, you really have to look into President Biden's son's dealing with the country of Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it got to be some type of relationship with the president of Ukraine and the president of the United States, Zelensky, for them to come in to the aid and backing of one country. What does Ukraine do for the United States? For us to send those billions, us to send weapons, us to, us to get involved, they say indirectly, but they're directly involved, with this particular, altercation, against Russia, for what they're doing, So I'm surprised that no one haven't launched an investigation into that to see, his son's dealings, because I remember them saying something about his son getting some money, doing some dealings in Ukraine.
They've been talking about that.
Yeah, so, it's going to be some, I guess I'll do the research myself since, and then see what the deal is, why he keeps giving money to Ukraine, because we've had conflicts in Africa, all over the world, Africa everywhere.
Apartheid,
and you ain't never gave that much money.
Not to this extent.
No.
Right.
We all in.
Right.
And then I'm trying to figure out why you got to start outside the damn country. Why can't you start right there in the black community? Where we done work from sun up to sundown and from can't see to can't see, and we have a legitimate right about reparations, even though we're thankful for what California's trying to do. I'm trying to figure out why we got to even start talking about outside the country. I'm talking about people that are right here, but it reminds me why they don't deal with us here. Even people wouldn't fought, they was hanging black people when they was in their uniforms.
Right, and you think about it, every time America does an operation, they declare war on it. Mm-hmm. War on drugs, war on poverty, war on crime. When are you going to declare peace?
Oh, no, they ain't talking about
that. It
that.
looks like this war is a war, but it's specifically used to decimate a single population of the people, and primarily that is our black people that are really decimated because of these wars. So, we go fight these wars in foreign countries, we come back here, don't get no respect. My grandfather, if I can say this really quick.
Go ahead.
My grandfather fought in World War II. He said he fought side by side with his white counterpart. When it was time to come back to the States, they had to get separate planes.
That's what I'm talking about. They hung us in the uniforms when black men were coming back. They absolutely Google it. This way nobody be saying, wow, why they always talking about, we're talking about because it's this thing called history.
Right. History.
That's why we're talking about it. And if somebody don't sit and tell you about what they did and what they constantly are doing, then it's going to constantly keep happening.
That's like you going to your doctor and say, treat me for hypertension. Why you feel like you have hypertension? I just got it. Well, can we go back and look in your medical history? What you need to look at my medical history for?
Yeah.
I got to make an accurate assessment of what happened. I got to check your blood work. I got to check everything about you to look at your history to make a fair assessment if you have hypertension or not. And the thing about it is that you are what you repeatedly do. You cannot escape your history.
No.
You know?
Well, the good thing about these people, now all of them talk about how much they love Muhammad Ali, but this was the whole thing he was pushing at the end because the messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, told him about that war. We had no business going to it. That's really what got Dr. King killed.
Exactly.
They want to fake it on out, but what signed his death certificate because he had started fooling with Ali and did a few things, and Ali was really pushing this thing. He said, I'm not going to go to no Canada and go jump AWOL and all that stuff and be a draft dodger. I'm not going to do none of that stuff. I'm going, whatever y'all going to do, you're going to do it to me right here and now.
In front
and
of the
I'm not
whole
going to go
world.
over to Vietnam and fight some Viet Cong, some poor people, some rice farmers. I'm not going to do that. See, now this is the same thing that he's saying. You know, these people over here fighting somebody else, they always want us to go fight. But when we come back here, look how we're being treated. And I'm going to be honest with you. Google this, ones out there in radio land. How many soldiers right now, veterans, are homeless? They talk all this damn stuff. Google it. Don't
Good point.
believe Brother Shaheed. Google it right now. All these people you talking about being patriotism too, and you know they fight for our country, and you let them while they in their uniforms get on the plane free, so they can go over there and damn to get themselves killed and stuff fighting for y'all. Cause I ain't going. You ain't got to never worry about me going. Look how they put them first, and then when they come back here, most of them are homeless, or their minds are so messed up from what they done seen over there. It don't make no sense.
And another thing, Mayor, with the reparations talk, is there going to be taxed? Because if they say they're gonna give you 5 and they tax it, you might get lucky if you get 2.
Well, I mean,
You're right.
I'd be happy to get that too. If you're going to tax, go on tax me. But see, taxes is something that you pay at the end of the year. You see, you could fool around and start getting involved in some investments like Brother Tyrone was talking about, and you get your investments going, real estate or whatever, and you have that offset from your taxes.
By the time they give you the money, it won't be worth nothing.
That's your thought?
That's what the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said. By the time they give you some money, it won't be worth
I
nothing.
can believe that.
All right.
I ain't never going against the leader.
Yeah.
Most got a proven track record. When he talking from a different level than most of us.
Yeah.
He really is. So, but anyway, that's a good point. You know, what are they gonna do? Will they tax it at the beginning? You know, or they tax it at the end?
They
All I know
tax
is
it
they-
like they tax the lottery,
Yeah. All I know is these people
because that's
got.
what you think you hit.
Yeah, but you hit it all right when you get through with us.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a good piece. This reparation piece, brothers and sisters. I want
We
to
ain't
thank
gonna
the
let
state
this-
of California for whatever they
Man,
did.
I'm
Because
trying to
normally when
tell you.
California do something, man, it's really like a mudslide.
Yeah,
Damn near
trickles
everybody
down.
else kind of followed the California lead and
Well,
New
they
York
take the
lead.
lead.
And the mere fact that they've done it, you got some people that really understand. And we talk about one of the brothers that was here, one of the Muslim brothers, Brother Eugene Freisen.
Oh,
When
man.
I tell you he fought against this brother, Brother Charles, this brother fought for this for every bit of 50 years. You can't talk about that unless you bring his name up. Because they were so, am I right, Mer? Do I know what I'm talking
Bryson was a hell of a guy. He worked in the sheriff's office.
about? Right, yes. You sure
He
know what you're
worked in
talking
the
about. I
sheriff's
forgot all
office.
about that.
Yeah, and his son Sterling Freisen.
Oh, man, I'm some
Engineer.
boxer too. Yeah.
Yeah, his wife was what was mama
I
name?
forgot.
Geraldine? Was it Geraldine? But
I'm not sure.
she
I
was
can't
an active member
Very active.
in the St. Louis community and political campaigns. They were all over the place.
But they fought for reparation. In other words, you know, I always get an example. Remember, Bob's got a coffee cup here. Brother Charles, you sitting there. And by mistake, he moving around, he wasted on you. It's one thing to say he's sorry, But the way that you really show that you want to repair the damage or the reparation, they say, Brother Charles, that pretty red shirt you got on, go get you a new one. Put this in a clean. Matter of fact, get you a couple of them for the time that you got to go do this, for your wear and tear, to go, stop what you're doing. I made a mistake. That's why no standing president ever tells us that they're sorry and apologize to us as a president, put him right, because then he had to come on with the chain. They never do that.
Exactly.
See, so that's why this reparation is so important. The only thing they done promised is 40 acres and a mule, and gave us a 40-ounce can of beer and a pack of Camel cigarettes and told us to walk a mile to go get it.
They say I walk a mile for a camel. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
I walk a mile for a camel.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
You never heard that before?
No,
Oh, man. Yeah, those one of them
That was one of the main
commercials on the thing.
Right.
What was that?
Camel.
Tarleton cigarettes. I'd rather fight than switch.
Right.
Remember that?
Only thing I
very
remember
well.
is Billy D getting on there saying, "Don't let the smooth taste fool you."
That was, what was he talking about?
Slit small liquor.
Slit small liquor. Oh, no.
Here's something, boy.
And, of course, who was the one that used to say, Skull, brother? Was that,
I'm looking at his face right now.
Was that Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq.
Skull, brother. Talking about trying to push the tobacco off
tobacco,
on
right.
He getting old history. See, right now, Brother Charles, what you doing? You getting schooled.
He don't
Yes,
remember
sir.
all of that. Yeah.
He don't
But
remember. He never knew.
they had a guy-
Remember, he never knew about it.
guy would come on TV smoking a cigarette, Camel cigarette, and say, I'd walk a mile for a Camel.
Wow.
And then the guy show up on TV with a black eye.
Right.
They say, I'm smoking Tarletons. I'd rather fight than switch.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those are the
They was
subliminal
going deep. They were
Yeah.
going deep.
See, those are the subliminal techniques. If you remember, they used the camel.
Yeah.
And the camel is an animal that's known as the ship of the desert. He can go 300 miles one way, and even if a sandstorm comes, he can retrace those tracks with no problem. And then he has a double layer on his eyes like a crocodile. So
Right.
he don't have to worry about a sandstorm, but Allah has put in him that he can
Survive.
He can survive. And no other animal can survive on that because he can go 4 months. Allah talks about this in the Holy Quran, 4 months and 10 days without water.
A camel.
A camel. And he eats on thorns. The only animal that can last on the desert other than that is a weasel. And the way a weasel get his water, he's like naked. He don't have no skin on him, period. He does a no-hand stand. So his head is down at the bottom, his feet is at the top. And because it's so hot like in the desert, and when I was in Mecca, it was 149 degrees, but it might get down to 90 degrees at nighttime, by the time that morning comes. But it's that dew. That fog
That
be so,
dew, that's right.
It'd be so heavy out there by him having no hair on his body, and he turns to no hand. When the water run down or the dew run down his mouth, that's how he drinks it.
Oh wow.
So everything in creation, Allah fix it where he can eat.
Yeah.
He
Yes,
have
sir.
a way to put fire for
Oh,
himself.
yeah. This was
So it's heavy. So,
Yes,
but I
sir.
walk a mile for a camel.
I walk a mile for a camel. That's crazy stuff. But we're going to get some more on this reparations, people. I mean, this is hot.
That's real hot.
Because this is...
$5 million.
And we always, black people for the most part,
We don't deserve that. While we keep talking about that, leave that alone. We don't need to be first.
But we've always been interested in social justice. I want my kids to go to school with white people. I want to live with white people. These are things that are social in nature.
Right.
Slave can't pass that up.
We never, and this is another thing, come back to Dr. King, we never get to the point where we talk about economic
You're right, brother.
justice.
right.
Because the economic freedom is the key to all of
To
it.
all of it.
It's the,
Yes, sir.
it's the key
That's
to
right.
all of it.
all
If
of it.
you got money, if you're earning money, if you're making money, if you're investing money, if you got businesses, then you are creating economic
You're right.
freedom.
Yes, sir.
You see, but we don't want to do that. We want to be with white people. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is one of the biggest issues that we have to get around. Somebody described it like this to me the other day. I just bust out laughing. They say, you got a white guy that's you got a Jewish guy that's got a ladder. He's trying to steady the ladder because he's getting ready to climb up on the ladder. He says, and they say, another Jewish person will come and hold the ladder for him so he can get up. And then they say, the black man trying to go up the ladder, and a black person come and knock it down, knock it out from under, you know. But I mean, and that's not everybody.
Right, but you give
it's not everybody, but there is certain amount of credence to that statement because we've seen it
over and over
time and time again where people do that. And it's like I say, like when if you're playing softball, you remember when somebody hit a pop fly and something, I got it. You got to call it. I got it.
Right.
What do you say? I go.
Right.
I go. Well, just like black people attacking other black people, they don't have to worry about white folks. I got it. Don't worry about it, Mr. White Man. I'm getting ready to straighten this out myself. So that is some of the issues that we are dealing with. We not only have to fight for justice and economic equality in terms of white people, but we have to fight with our own people.
Yeah, that's the main
It's a double dynamic. It's just like us. We being here. We one hand clapping.
Right. Can't even hear it.
Yeah, one hand clapping.
Can't hear it.
Can't make no noise.
Can't make no noise.
Because a lot of the folks, our own people, are against us.
Yeah.
What we talking about?
And that's what it was a brother, and I talked about this once before, named Naeem Akbar. He got a tape out, and I said I was going to make a copy of it, Merritt, but what I'm going to do is bring the tape recorder to you and let you do it. It's called How to Make a Slave.
You mentioned that to me a couple weeks ago.
That's a hot tape.
Okay.
How to make a slave and what you have to do to make a slave. You got to remove his self-esteem. You got to remove his religion from him.
And they've done that.
His God.
They've done that.
His names.
They've done that.
You got to remove his religion.
They've done that.
You got to remove everything from A to Z. You know, his self-worth. You know, the knowledge of himself, feeling good about himself. You got to do all of that. Then when you do that, you don't have to try to make one. He's already there. Yeah. Goes right back to what you said, Carter. You don't have to make a door. For if it's not a door, it poses no problem. They'll make one.
That's right.
They don't need you to make no door because when it comes to doing something for self, those are the things that don't even compute in their mind. That's why, you know, we attack each other. Now, some of them, just like a Wesley Bell, have to be put out there because, I mean, he just got to have the pantyhose on and the G-strings because he put his own stuff out. This brother Shaheed speaking. You know, we got a coward like that. You got to put, but I mean, it's some out there. That's brother Shaheed speaking, Brother Charles. I don't have my own opinion.
We letting you speak. We letting you speak. Ain't nobody trying to cut you off.
That's different. You know, but it's some because of slave minds that just don't feel that another black man can do anything. That's why they say
in the book.
The first thing they say is, you know, we can't do what they do. Right. He's somebody that's been taught how to be a slave. It's just something that didn't happen over generation after generation.
It's like you say, the book says, and one of the segments in the book says, if you control a man's mind, you don't have to worry about his actions.
Wow.
You see, so that's why I'm saying white people don't have to worry about us because they already indoctrinated us. Exactly. And they just leave us alone, leave them alone. We already fixed them. So we've been indoctrinated, so I don't have to fool with them.
Well, they ain't going to be asked about no reparation or no black history. We say don't need no black history no much. We done taught enough of it to make white kids, you know, very uncomfortable talking about it. Leave it alone.
Black people talking about what they need that for. Why are we trying to do that?
Anyway,
what we going for that for?
Still talking about that black stuff. Every time we look up, they talk about that
Bosley and Shaheed. Here they go again. Here they go again. But I never will forget the caller that called in and said, can't y'all just let it go?
Let it go. Yeah,
can't you just let it go? And this was a young person.
Yeah.
Can't you just let it go?
Page.
Huh? Turn the page. Turn the page.
Right.
Let's
God don't like
Let's just move on.
How come we all can't get along?
Let's just move on. No, we can't move. I know I ain't moving on.
Well, let's move
until
on
we do this. Move on to the break. Yeah. All right, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah, AM. We'll be right back. Keep it on lock. Oh! I like that. Welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on the on KTZ 1600.
Excited.
Hallelujah.
Excited.
AM.
You talking about they're talking about $5 million. I know what you want to do with the Zodiac.
I'm trying to talk about that. Want to get that out there, but I'm really interested in figuring out how they arrived at the number, because I mean the reparations make sense to me. The acknowledgement of it makes sense to me. I'm just trying to drill down a little bit more to get into how I can make sense out of the 5 million. You hear what I'm saying? What is that based on? And so once I get my head around that and get that, then I'll be able to come forward and talk about that a little more.
Okay.
Go ahead. But you know, right now, here's another issue. The Senate, the Missouri, here we go, Missouri Senate, we the last at the bottom of almost every damn thing. We at the bottom in terms of education.
Even freeing the slaves.
Yeah. Now,
even freeing us as a people. But go ahead.
now we okay limits on race-related instruction. So now we're going to limit the amount of time you get to talk about race-related issues. Isn't that pitiful? Isn't
They want
that
it to just
pitiful?
go away.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this stuff from, man? Are you just making? Where you?
No, man, this is in the Missouri Senate.
What
the
newspaper
Missouri
you getting
Senate.
this from? I know it's
Well,
from the Missouri Senate, but I mean,
the
when
St.
you
Louis
read-
Post-Dispatch,
Wait,
Jack Suntrup wrote the article.
You said it's from the Post-Dispatch.
St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is sponsored by Senator Koning, right out here in Manchester, Missouri. Right in Manchester, the city of Manchester got a state senator out there that now wants to limit the time that's spent on race-related instruction. These people are crazy.
So I think we don't. Do you think we don't went past our limit on this show? Or what you?
God, no, this show is free.
It ain't enough
Yeah,
time
we'll
to
talk about that.
about what all needs to be talked about.
Yes.
That's why they want to give us 28 days, and then say that's too many days to be talking about what's happening with you as a people.
So in addition to restrictions on racial lessons.
Lessons. Damn.
We're going to teach you about racism. When I was in high school, out of all the subjects and everything that we had, they finally came forward and said, well, you all need to start teaching them about black history. They can't, you know what, the regular history book, This is America's Story, was about this thick.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest books. I think it was the biggest book in high school. This is America's Story. It's about this thick. Then they introduced this little book for African American history, and it was this thick.
Ain't that something?
It was this thick.
Ain't that something? And then it started here in America. It never started before. Like our history never started till we got here.
Well, it started just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But
then
bones
it
on our
came-
nose and all that.
Yeah, but then it gradually came back
You're right.
to the United States.
You're right.
But just think, this much.
Right.
This much.
Right. And that was too much.
Yeah, this much. And we got a whole history book
Ain't
this
that
thick.
something?
Yeah.
That's why the word is called his story.
Yeah.
H-I-S. It's his story. Ours is a mystery.
Yeah.
That's why, we learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you put two black people together, they can make every color in the spectrum. You put the black man, you put the white man in the sun, he turns yellow. You put the yellow man in the sun, he turns red. You put the red man in the sun, he turns brown. You put the brown man in the sun, he turns black. You put the black man in the sun, he don't turn, no, he's original. Two black people can make everything from a black man to an albino. Two white people can't make nothing but white. Mm-hmm. That's why the Ku Klux Klan always had a problem when you was fooling with some of their white girls. When you had jungle fever, that was a problem for them. They had a real problem anytime you had jungle fever, because when a brother get with a white girl, you're going to be able to tell there's a brother there, because that baby going to have melanin in them. It's going to have black blood, and it's going to show. Can't hide it.
But
Two white people can't make nothing but white.
Right. You can continue to try to what they say whitewash history and act like it didn't happen. And see, the thing about it is people are doomed to repeat history because they don't understand it. So they are trying to systematically put us back in a servitude role based on the youth not knowing what happened in the future, in the past, and what they call the Generation X And the baby boomers, all of them are dying off. So they get these Generation X, they get these Generation Y people that don't know nothing about slavery.
Yes.
Right.
That don't know
And
nothing
don't wanna
about
know.
Right.
And then they're gonna get them
got to
right
do it
back
them.
into the role that they put them in
right,
when they
bro.
first came over here to the States.
And listen,
Go to the
listen.
jails. Here, but go ahead.
Listen to this. It says this legislation that passed in Missouri said it's not law because it has to go through the House, but it did pass the Senate, and it says it calls for stop it, end it, teaching that individuals, by virtue of their race, their ethnicity, their color, or national origin, bear a collective guilt and are inherently responsible for actions committed in the past by others. See what they want to do? They on a guilt trip. They on a serious guilt trip. America has a serious guilt problem when it comes to race. So now, at least we was just living with it and being able to deal with it as it came and being able to talk about it. Now they're boring teaching it. They're boring letting children know and learn about race issues and about past discrimination. Now, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm gonna tell you
it's
what I'm
just
saying.
education.
I'm gonna tell you, it's education, but what it's gonna do in a minute is no different from somebody in our family start saying, "Ain't that Uncle Mary Bonds? Ain't that Brother Shahay? Ain't that Brother Shaw?" Them grandkids gonna start looking back and start seeing pictures of their great granddaddy hanging us for no reason and taking pictures of it. Then it brings up a statute of limitation because there's no statute of limitation on murder.
That's right.
So by right, all those people we seen on that damn picture hanging black
Right,
folks.
that's right.
Now,
Somebody responsible for that.
But if you can keep on telling, quit talking about that, leave that alone.
Right, leave it
Because that
alone. Quit
bothers
talking that-
them to see granddaddy, say he'd rather spit on one of us or hang one of us than to speak to one of us.
Yes.
See, so maybe next week
who wants to be made to feel guilty for past iniquities?
Yeah.
Who wants to be reminded of their sins?
Yeah. Well, how about the Jews? The Jews doing the Holocaust.
And here's,
the Indians.
here's a thing that's very interesting that nobody ever mentions. No disrespect to the Jews, but your plight took place in Germany.
Yeah.
We're talking about something that happened on the land that we're at. So not only were you able to take your plight from one part of the continent to the next, we haven't even been able to tell our story.
That's right.
Be compensated.
That's right.
Let alone be made to feel restored and whole as a people. So yes, we're still dealing with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there has never been nothing to address what has happened. When we are injured, just like Malcolm said, you stick a knife in my back, 9 inches,
Yeah.
you pulled out 6, that's not progress.
still in.
He said, even if you pulled out all the way, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow dealt.
That's right.
And they're not even acknowledging there's a knife in our back.
That's right.
They don't want
That's right. And now they're passing laws.
to stop.
See, that's one thing to just have the
history.
conversations and people making the statements and things like that. But now they have passing legislation
they something, bro.
to prohibit the discussion in our schools.
Right.
That's why
While they're promoting tolerance for
Hold on.
LGBTQ and for
that's
the
altogether-
transgender.
That's all altogether different story.
You know?
I wasn't gonna bring that up,
Why
but,
not?
I didn't think we had enough time. We only got a minute left. I didn't want to bring that up, but you are on point.
Well, that's why we came to talk about the pride we had, because when you talk about pride, especially for young people, they don't know the pride that we had as a people and what happened in the 60s and before the 60s and how people had to sweat and do everything. Now, when they use the word pride, we're talking about the gay pride.
Something else, right.
That's the only pride that
That
comes to
rainbow
their
got a
mind.
whole different meaning now.
Right.
Yeah.
They done took that all the way. When you say you happy, that's different from
The
being that
rainbow
kind of
was
gay.
supposed to be the symbol of the promise of God to never destroy the earth by flood again.
And now they got this thing where they are being able to, the kids that think they transgender are being able to go to doctors and nurses and stuff and get health care treatment.
Yep.
We got
to help promote.
I think we
Gender reassessment.
This should be something we can
medication.
start off next week.
I'm just old.
We only got 10 seconds.
I'm old, and I'm glad that I'm moving on. Yes, sir. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great show. Tune in next Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah! AM.
Quit playing.
Oh!